Hey friends, Barky Dog back with another movie review. Well, with Easter fast approaching, I wanted to come up with an appropriate movie to review. So I could have gone with The Greatest Story Ever Told with Max von Sydow or Jesus of Nazareth. Both of these are 3.5 or 4 paw pictures to be sure. Well worth a viewing. But no. I decided instead do something different. Instead I got to thinking about bunny rabbits. Chocolate ones. Because Easter. So I tried to find you a movie about bunnies. And sure enough, one came hopping down the bunny trail in the form of Night of the Lepus from 1972. Fair warning, I've had a few barktinis. After watching this thing, I needed them. If you had rabbits at Thanksgiving, you'd have this movie, because it's a turkey if ever there was one. Jeez. See, originally this movie was supposed to be called Night of the Lepers, a play on Night of the Living Dead. But the producer who had the script accidentally spilled some wine on it, and the word lepers became illegible, and he thought it said Lepus, and history was made. That might be anecdotal, but I could believe it with this movie. Be forewarned, this picture features a horrific bunny massacre not seen since Watership Down, as bunnies are brutally brained in a brazen bunny beatdown. Most of this happens in recycled stock footage rather than actual bunny murder by the filmmakers. Bunnies in the actual movie footage are handled gently as they're rounded up for the most part, but if you're bunny sensitive, you won't like this picture. Basically, the story goes like this. A rancher is plagued by wild bunnies and calls on the local university for help in dealing with them. He doesn't want to use poison. He wants a more humane way of dealing with the bunnies that won't leave his land full of toxins. Good for him. His heart may be in the right place, but his brain isn't, because he's about to unwittingly unleash Bunnygeddon. The head of the college turns to a pair of researchers who decide hormone therapy will interrupt the bunny's mating cycle and thereby reduce the number of bunnies ravaging the land. But they choose the wrong hormone and the bunnies start to grow. Now, this wouldn't be a problem because they're in the lab in a controlled experiment. But unfortunately for all mankind, these researchers have a stupid kid. This stupid kid, in whiny, annoying fashion, takes a liking to a bunny in the cages, and stupidly, in stupid kid fashion, switches it for a control bunny in the experiment. So the bunny she has for a pet has been injected, and of course, being a stupid kid, lets it escape into the wild bunny population. This bunny bangs babe bunnies, and their offspring start growing to ginormous size and become carnivores. Thanks, stupid kid. Most of the problems in this world are caused by children. Don't believe me? Just look at Twitter. By the way, nothing happens to this stupid kid. She never has to answer for her crimes here. Dozens of people killed, and nothing. She isn't arrested, she isn't put on trial, she isn't sent to reform school like she deserves. She doesn't get a spanking, she doesn't get grounded, a stern talking to, nothing. Yeah. Well, these giant bunnies start killing people, and the characters have to save the day, which eventually leads to a big bunny roast, Thomas Edison style. There's a lot of implausibilities here, even for a low-budget sci-fi horror picture. Even the studio didn't want any advertising to reveal that the Lepus in the title were bunnies, because they knew no one would take the movie seriously. This movie wanted to be a throwback to other, more famous movies. First, Night of the Living Dead, and then stories featuring giganticism like Them, or The Black Scorpion, Tarantula, It Challenged the World, and so on. Usually a story where man unleashes a monster because of radioactive fallout or chemical pollution or whatever. Here, it's hormones and a stupid kid. Left on the table is the idea of cyclical revenge. Mother Nature turning the tables on the bunny killers by creating killer bunnies. They could have gone there and chose not to, which is too bad. It could have offered a more impactful story. The cast is pretty good though, and they make the best of a bad situation. Stuart Whitman and Janet Leigh are the researchers, and Rory Calhoun is the rancher. Calhoun is an interesting guy. He started out as a criminal. Literally. He was in jail until his 21st birthday. When he got out, he took up odd jobs until one day, when he was riding a horse in the park, he met Alan Ladd and his wife. She was an agent and thought he'd be good in pictures, so she got him some work, and that's how Calhoun got his start. Best thing about this movie for me is that it features both DeForest Kelley and Paul Fix. Paul Fix was an almost legendary character actor in westerns, most famous for playing Micah Torrance on the Rifleman TV series. But Kelley and Fix both played the chief medical officer of the Starship Enterprise on Star Trek. That's right. DeForest Kelley was Dr. McCoy, of course, but Paul Fix preceded him in the second pilot of the series as Dr. Piper, and they even have a few scenes together here, so that's cool. But this movie is bad. Yes. In fact, Janet Leigh said the only reason she took the job was because it was being shot near where she lived, and she wouldn't let her kids be in it or even see it. Special effects range from okay to lousy. The bunnies actually look okay when they're running down miniature streets, but the scale is inconsistent. In one shot they're giant bunnies, in the next they're only dog-sized bunnies, and so on. Part of the problem the filmmakers had was that bunnies don't really do much. They just like to sit around eating or banging other bunnies, so they aren't very threatening at all or very active for most of the time. They really had a hard time trying to get the bunnies to do much. This movie is a turkey, all right, but it was fun to watch. It was one of those movies that's so bad it was almost good. Very 70s in that sense. I'm giving it 1 3/4 paws. Not the worst thing ever made, but not exactly Citizen Kane either. Fun in a low-budget Drek sort of way. So, happy Easter, I guess. Night of the Lepus is available on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and digitally from Amazon Prime. Well, that's all I have for you this time. I'll be back soon with another video. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves, okay? And I'll see you in the next one. If a giant bunny doesn't get me, I hope it's made out of chocolate.